Hi you guys, Jack Rogers here. I hope everybody is well, and in this video we are going to be talking all about some different copywriting tips. So we've been through sort of several different frameworks, but what I wanted to do is just dive in on like a more granular level and give you some tips that you can implement into your copy right away. So let's start with the basics, right? You want to make sure that you use comparisons throughout your copy, and I think before we sort of dive into this, one thing I want to make clear is you don't need to include all of these in all of your copies, but I would try and incorporate as many of these ideas into your copy and test them out against each other. So the first one is going to be to use comparisons, and people are wondering, and it's one of the first things that they think about when they see your product or service is they are comparing you to either a product they have previously purchased, a product they are in the market to purchase, or something that they have used in the past, which is why we want to tell them the truth, right? We want to talk about how your product is either better, whether it's faster, you can deliver them better results, get them to their desired outcome quicker. As you guys know, the faster aspect for me is an absolute massive one. If you can get somebody, let's say you're a lead gen business, if you can get somebody 100 leads in the next 30 days, that is a more valuable service than getting somebody 100 leads in 60 days, even though you might do the exact same service, because you're delivering that results faster, it's more valuable. And the last one that you can use, or that I've got here, but there are obviously going to be other ones, is going to be that you are cheaper, right, than what's already out there. So you want to try and incorporate comparisons. Now, the next one is to switch technical terms for benefits. So what I've essentially done here is break down like 3 different examples. So a portable media player, or a portable like iPhone, or like an iPod Shuffle back in the day. Rather than saying that, you get 1,000 songs in your pocket. Waterproof phone case should be stress-free pictures at the beach. 25 gig of cloud space, all your files in one place. And I think a big thing here is people don't buy technical terms, they buy benefits. So make sure that you switch out those technical terms for benefits. Now, the next one is going to be to let your customers do the selling. So whenever you mention a benefit or a feature of your product or service, you want to add a testimonial to support your claim. And this essentially just makes that claim not only more engaging, but more trustworthy. Every business owner is going to say they've got the best product on the planet, right? It's just inevitable, because you wouldn't be in business if you didn't think that. So we want to just make sure that we can validate each claim by supporting them with a testimonial. Now, the best testimonials that you can use are going to be the structure of a before, a transformation, and after, and build it out as a story. So if you can ask your customers for testimonials that fit this, then I would look at include them in your copy. So an example here might be, let's say it's for a marketing agency, right? So the before could be, I have tried 10 different agencies, none of them were able to improve my results. I found Heath Media, they walked me through my account, showed me why it wasn't working, and then within the next 30 days we decreased their cost per lead or cost per purchase by 30%, right? So if you can incorporate it, let your customers do the selling. Now, the next one is going to be to leverage your competitors' flaws. And this works really well in our middle and bottom of funnel campaigns, especially in like the us versus them style. But what I personally recommend you do is go to your competitors' product pages, search for like all the reviews that are 3 stars and below, and then you can turn those complaints into selling points, right? So if you go on one of your competitors and they say shipping times were really bad, took 2 weeks to get my product, yours might be, don't wait weeks for your product, get it next day delivery for free, right? Now, moving on to the next one is going to be to reframe your pricing. And you don't want to just state the price of your product, but instead you can use, like an example here is, instead of saying $47 a month, you can say less than a monthly gym membership. Or if you're like slightly lower ticket, maybe your service is $10 $2 per month. You can say less than a cup of coffee, right? And the logistics behind this is it makes your product seem cheaper than what it actually is. Now, moving on to the next one is going to be around using raw data. And one thing that I have a very, very strong disliking to is people who round up numbers to make them look bigger. So if you've got a satisfaction score of 78%, use 78%, right? So here you go in that example. If 78% of your customers prefer your product, use 78% instead of 80%. If you're second in the market, use second, not first. If your product is 98% effective, or 94% effective, use 94%. Raw numbers actually equals bigger numbers. It makes it more believable. And I hope all that helps. Obviously, any questions on this, any concerns, please let me know. But I hope this has been valuable for you all, and have a great rest of the week.